I really have a work-work balance. I don't have much of a life in it, but that is, my eyes are wide open. I want to experience everything. I don't have kids, I'm not married, but it is important to have that downtime. I am learning that so much more quicker than I thought I would. Just alone in September, I've worked as much overtime as I should have just worked normal. It is definitely challenging. I enjoy what I do, which makes it so much of a better day-to-day pace for myself. Eventually, I'm going to have to slow it down, create more of a life balance for myself. I did just get a dog, so that kind of helps me. that kind of helps me to realize that, okay, when 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at work hits, it's like, okay, well, my dog's been home by herself for much too long. I need to go home and enjoy myself somewhere else. So that has slowly helped me to decide that I need to create a little bit more of an outside work experience for myself. But it's a little difficult with your eyes wide open.
I'm married, have 2 sons. They're 15 and 13 now. And over the course of my first 7 years at the University of Minnesota, as a head coach, I was engaged, married, and had 2 kids. So it was a lot. Then I went to University of Georgia, and that's kind of when, the hard work kind of again, people recognize it, and then you have opportunities, and I had some great opportunities. So I was University of Georgia head coach, and then I was asked to be the under-21 assistant national team coach, and I was asked to be the under-16 youth national team head coach. So, and now I have a 1 and 3-year-old, and 2 and 4, and 3 and 5, and so it was very challenging, and we ended up having a live-in nanny. And my career, I had all these incredible experiences, and that was great. And I can honestly say, I wouldn't look back and change anything. But I do look back, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, and sometimes, my kids are now 13 and 15, and I do regret sometimes that I wasn't there more. I do regret that I wish I remember them more at 2 and 4, and I wish I had more time. And not that when I wasn't there, I was 100% there for them, but I was all over the world traveling, and I miss that. So here I am now at a Division III school, and I have to say that my work-life balance is very different, and it's fantastic, and I love every second of it. But, I don't know, and this is probably the biggest thing I have to say, I don't know that I would really appreciate what I have now if I hadn't had those other experiences.
I think one of the traps that's really easy to fall into being a young person in this field is that when you're young and you're single and you're just getting in, you get into this almost competition with yourself. Like, I'm supposed to be, the one here burning the candle on both ends all the time. I'm not married, I'm single, I don't have a family. And so you start to just get into this pattern of, I have to prove to everybody that even though I'm young, I don't have the experience that everyone else around me has, I'm just gonna burn myself out. And at the NCAA, I did that. I literally worked myself sick and ended up getting mono and having to miss a good portion of the internship. And that, for me, was a wake-up call at an early stage that I need to have a balance. And I think as you look at things in this field, ask the question when you're going on interviews, what's your work-life balance like? That was one of the first questions I asked.
So I think you have to learn to trust the people around you too. Trust that they know you're working hard and that you're putting the time in, and trust yourself to say it's okay. It's okay to leave a little bit early today to go do something that's important to me. When I was very, very early in my career, it was probably my first couple of years, a mentor of mine by the name of Lynn Adams worked at the NAI office, and I was on this national softball committee for the NAI. And she said something that has stuck with me to this day. She said she traveled a lot, and she said, when I fly, I make it a rule not to do any work on the plane. And at the time I thought, man, she's crazy. What's she doing? What's she thinking? How can you not do work on the plane? And I'll tell you what, to this day, I can't say every single time, but 95% of the time, I'm not doing work on the plane. I'm going to read my book. I love to read. I'm gonna read my book, I'm gonna nap, I'm gonna do whatever it is. And it's little things like that that you have to carve out sometimes when you're traveling a lot, or if you've got a lot of events going on at home that you just can't get away from. And I know that sounds crazy. Reading your book on the plane can make that big of a difference, but it does. You just have to find that time and use it to do something that makes you happy, that helps you relax, that helps you unwind a little bit. And you'll learn it as you go along, but just learn to trust yourself.